Hey YouTube, Critchy here, back again with another episode of Let's Play Monster Hunter Freemium Night. Now, you're probably questioning why I don't have my eager cleaver when I said I was going to be doing the Supreme Ruler of the Swamp this time. I've actually done a little research on Ian Garuga, and have found out that his weakness to water being advertised so much is because it's a massive weakness on his wings. From my experience fighting him in the past, his wings actually not an easy place to hit. So, I'm gonna be just using the next best weakness, which is ice. And seeing as this weapon has such a large amount of raw damage anyway, for this point in the game, 672 for this point in the game is probably about as high as you're gonna get. So, on top of that, it's got the 10% affinity, which will assist in some way. I'm gonna take on the Ian Garuga. Now, based on how tough the two cuckoos were, the pink cuckoo died in about 2 to 3 minutes, if that. The blue cuckoo died 5 or so minutes after that. So, I'm estimating that this fight should take about maybe 15 minutes, if my idea on how strong the Garuga actually is. This was actually the how the Elder Dragons are in this game, where you fight them over multiple quests because they're so tough. This guy used to be that in the first Monster Hunter Freedom. He would take multiple quests to kill. You can cut this guy's tail off, unlike the normal Garuga. Now, one thing that's actually confusing me, I actually believed this guy to only have one ear. So, what I'm thinking is this may actually be a weaker version of the Garuga. Now, he shares a lot of features with another boss monster in this game, known as the Raytheon. Notably that his tail is incredibly poisonous. Okay, I'm gonna paintball him while he's in rage mode. Yeah, there's the backflip. My cat demonstrates the poison for us. Sorry, buddy. You do not want to get hit by that backflip because it's not just poison, it's if I recall correctly, although that might not apply to this guy in particular, that the poison of the Garuga is actually a stronger poison than just standard poison I would have got from Gypceras. And it will really chunk up my health. Yeah, okay. I was actually not gonna say anything about that unless it happened, because I know you could break his beak. However, I did not remember if you could break his beak with a slashing weapon. This guy is actually dying very quickly. Based on how quickly he's losing parts, assuming it's on roughly the same correlation as a Wrath, one of the Wrath family. Essentially breaking a Rathalos's face and tail usually mean you've killed about a quarter of its health. Oh god. I didn't know he did the triple fireball. Okay. I haven't remembered everything. This guy is very similar to the... He's very similar to the Rathalos in pattern, however he shares some traits with Kutku, Raytheon, and I believe that's a Gypceras. He's like... That's gonna hurt. Not as much as I expected, actually. I don't know why I was carving there was no real point to it. As for what this guy's armor gives, I honestly have no idea. You'll be more interested in his weapons, as his weapons are high affinity weapons. That's actually something unique to him, the ability to screech and jump back. Now, I'm pretty sure he has the same weakness sign as the cuckoo. He'll put his ears back. Ow. Okay, didn't see that coming. I'm still a little bit rusty at this game. Is that a broken ear? Or did he put one of his ears down? I think it might be a broken ear. I'm actually looking at his claws, thinking they might be breakable, which means he isn't actually as weak as I first anticipated. Because if he's got that many breaks, then each break is obviously going to be considerably easier, so to speak. And he's put his ear down, so if I had a trap and trank bombs with me, he would be capturable right now. This has actually been a case where I've really overestimated the quest. Based on what the monster was, I estimated the quest being really difficult because the Garuga is supposed to be one of the stronger monsters in the game. However, I seem to have missed out something. It appears the Garuga is actually scaled down in this game, compared to the first game where he's actually stronger than the Rathalos. Because there's no way, if I look at the first game, that I could ever consider the Garuga being this easy to beat. Bear in mind it was a fight that took, 30 minutes plus. The first quest would last 25 minutes, assuming you did enough damage within those 25 minutes. And then it would just flee as soon as you had enough damage to meet its damage threshold for that fight. I'm pretty sure that Velociprey just put that Garuga in rage mode. I'm actually bouncing off it, which is strange, as before I wasn't bouncing at all. And my sharpness level hasn't actually decreased. Ow. His area of attacks are a lot bigger than I'm giving them credit for, and I'm paying for that. I'm not sure if this fight has just gone incredibly well, or if this guy really just doesn't have much health. That Velociprey may have just saved me taking a hit. I can only assume that this is like a weakness sign. stronger scales as a monster's in danger, it really doesn't sound that far-fetched. Okay, he was a lot easier than I thought. We'll be fighting both him and the uh, Shogun Senator in this fight. Oh, okay. So you can break. I don't know if you can break both his ears. I know we broke one. I believe we broke one. Unless it just went back. You can break his beak. You can break both his claws, even though I've only broken one. You can cut his tail off. So yeah, it's 5 breaks. Yeah, so it makes sense that the tail and the beak broke so quickly, because there's so many breaks on him that each break would be relatively easy. So I'm actually gonna quickly close my window because I hear construction starting outside. It's very nice having a mute button on your mic. Scale, ear, and wing. Yeah, not bad. As for... oh yeah, his mane. I remember his mane being rather difficult item to get, actually. I'd put it on the same level as Blangonga thing. However, his weapons... if I recall correctly, he has pretty good affinity weapons. I'd say he'd probably be around 20% for his weapons. So I'm gonna look into his weapons, as I think he might have a longsword on that actual note. On that note, anyway. Centaur Raven. Yeah, 20% affinity. So it's kind of just a really strong. It's kind of like a Ravager Blade. I'd say it's about a Ravager Blade. Probably a Ravager Blade plus in power. I have a Ravager Blade actually. Okay, so it's between a Ravager Blade and a Ravager Blade plus, except it has 20% affinity. I needed to sneeze, so I muted my mic, but the sneeze isn't coming. I don't like blowing people's ears out, so. And with my hay fever, that's pretty common, because I actually had my windows open all night. A lot of pollen's probably gone in my room, so that's gonna be fun. Anyway, as I've actually really underestimated him, I'm thinking about dealing with the Kushala de Aura before fighting the Tigrex. It would stick true to my doing everything with stuff you can get at that point rule that I actually said earlier in the series, which I don't know if I've actually been sticking to. I imagine I have, because most of the stuff I would have gone back to do when I cleared the 2-star quests out would have been gathering stuff. So for this quest, this quest is pretty much just going to be the same as the one in the volcano, except he's in a different area. That's the only difference. Now, if you're wondering on what difference the ice weapon and this lightning weapon, which I got a lot earlier, are at, the ice weapon has 50 more raw power. It has the same amount of elemental power, but it's ice instead of lightning. Or thunder, I can't remember which one it calls it in this game. And it has, the ice one has 10% affinity. Now, you can break this guy's shell off. I don't know if you can do it with a sword. I know you can do it with a hammer. I have seen it done with a gun lance. Although I believe that may have been the shells that were mostly doing that. He really doesn't want to move. Oh god. As soon as I saw that like moving closer to me, it was kind of too late because I was already stuck in an animation. But yeah, that actually caught me off guard. I saw the water beam coming. I just didn't see it, like I didn't know it could actually move closer. I'm wondering if the eye prey can actually poison the... His claws actually pushed me out of the way, so when I did my spirit combo, I was actually out of range of it. I'm actually starting to think this guy might be slightly larger than normal Senator, which has nothing to do with the quest, it's always random. You're still alive, huh? If you're wondering why I'm not going for any particular breaks, like I could break his claws, it's because I already have everything I need. To be honest, I already have everything I need for my weapons, so there's no point breaking stuff. And I'm pretty sure these monsters are actually respawning as time passes, instead of when you leave and rejoin the area. This fight shouldn't really take that long. I say that as he's gonna stay underground for absolutely ages. But like I would want to turn around and start killing the eye prey, but I know as soon as I do, he would just come up underneath me or something. Because that's the lore in this game. The most dangerous attacks in this game are actually the ones that don't make you flinch, as those are the ones you're more likely to just like ignore. Like, when it gets to a certain point where you've got like a certain amount of armor, the attacks still do a notable amount of damage. Oh god, what the hell was that? This is kinda bullshit. Of all things I get stunned by, it's a fucking monkey. The thing I really never understood about Monster Hunter, this is the one thing that has never been answered to this day. Why is a conga helping a Senator? Why is something of the Pegasus? I'm pretty sure the monkeys are called Pegasus. Why is something of the monkey family helping a predator of the crustacean family, basically? There's just no real reason behind it. Like theoretically, I'm pretty sure Senator is a meat eater. So something like the Conga should be running from him. They should be afraid of him. However, instead they stand and fight with him. However, my opinion is actually that the AI of the two don't interact at all, and rather than helping the Senator, the Conga are just attacking you because they don't see the Senator. He goes underground too much. Like, the fact this fight's taking longer than the Garuga fight is simply based on the fact he's going underground repeatedly. I always found that it's an okay mechanic in a way. Like, having the monsters be able to gain, like, well, not really positional advantages, but, like, combat advantages by utilizing area the hunter can't go. The going underground one was really overutilized. Then again, I guess on the PSP they didn't really have many dimensions to work with. They couldn't use water. Well, they did. They did use water. They used it for Plesioth. Then again, look how that turned out. Plesioth seemed to be really rushed in creation. Notably by the fact his hitbox is actually stretched behind the attack, instead of just being in front. Like, have massive hitboxes all you want, but when something like... if someone punches... like, if someone's standing in front of me and they punch forward, and then that punch somehow hurts me, that's where I start getting finicky. But yeah, pretty much all the 4-star quests done now. It's just the Kashala Deora. And then once he's dealt with, that'll be, well, gotta do that quest twice, and each one is gonna last at least 25 minutes. If I do that for next episode is gonna be longer. Much longer. Anyway, that's it for this episode, guys. Next episode, we're going to take an attempt at the Kashadeor. I might just do the first quest in the first video, and then do the next video with the second part of the fight, as the first fight is going to pretty much be guaranteed to take 25 minutes, especially as the Kashadeor's first weakness is Dragon. He's kind of weak against poison because it makes it easier to fight him, but his second weakness is lightning, so we're going to be using this sword against him. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode.